What's up, guys? It's your girl, Jenny, and I'm here to tell you how to read music, okay? This is part 1, how to read music part 1. So first things first, the first thing that you need to know when you start reading music is you need to know about scales. A scale is a pattern of notes that all music falls within. So let me show you how to think about your scale. So the pattern is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Here's the mathematic element of that pattern. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That refers to the distance between each of the notes in this scale. So, let's see. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So, if I'm going by whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, you can see do, re, that's a whole step. That's what it's called. We're dealing with whole steps and half steps. So a whole step is this distance between two notes. Do, re is a whole step. Re, mi is a whole step. Mi, fa is a half step. Fa, sol is a whole step. Sol, la is a whole step. Sol, la, ti is a whole step. Ti, do, that's a half step. So that pattern makes the scale sound like that. And when you are reading music, the sheet music is telling you what note you were on in the scale. So first of all, let me zoom in here. When we're writing down music, this is what you see. I see a system of 5 lines and 4 spaces. That is called a staff. On the staff, I see another symbol called the treble clef. When you have a staff with a treble clef, this is what the treble clef is telling you. See how the treble clef circles around one of the lines on the staff. This circle around that line kind of looks like a G. So the treble clef is telling you that the name of this line is G. The way the staff is organized, each line and each space has a name. It's the name of a letter from A to G, a 7-letter alphabet. So if G is the last letter in the 7-letter alphabet, then the next space after that would be A. So there you have all of the lines and all of the spaces on the treble clef. This is another way to think about it. So from bottom to top, the names of the lines on the treble clef are E, G, B, D, F, or Every Good Boy Does Fine. Now let's look at the spaces. From bottom to top, the names of the spaces are F-A-C-E. That spells face. Face rhymes with space. So there you have the names of all of the lines and spaces on the treble clef. Now, the letters in the musical alphabet continue on and on forever. So there are letters above the staff and there are also letters below the staff. Let me give you an example. right? The letters go on and on forever, okay? So how does that help us with our scale? Well, the way the music is written, it's all pointing you to where do is so that you can start your scale and read your music. So if I have just a treble clef, then this is where my scale would start. Right? And this is how your scale would sound with just a treble clef. This is what that scale would sound like. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay? Let me show you a circumstance where do would be in a different place on the treble clef. I'm going to add a symbol right here. That symbol is called a flat. A flat lowers the pitch of the note by a half step. So if I lower the middle line, or B, by a half step, this is what my scale will sound like. Right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And if I'm a singer and I am reading my music, I don't have to start on the piano note F, right? So this note is F. It's the first space in the treble clef, and we know that the spaces spell face, so F, A, C, E. So we know that that note is F. So if there's one flat in your key signature, then do is F, which means you're in the key of F. But you don't have to read your music if you're a singer starting on the piano note F. So I could see that there's one flat in the key signature, and I could know that the first space is do, but I could start on a note that's just comfortably in my range, like this. Do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And see, that isn't the piano note F that I started on, but I'm still singing the scale and I can still read my music doing that, okay? Now I'm going to show you a different circumstance where another note would be do. So I have two sharps in the key signature. A sharp raises the note by a half step. So if I have those two sharps on F and C right there, then it's going to make D sound like do. And I know that that's D because I know that every good boy does fine. So the first line is E, and I know that the note before E would be D. So I know that D is do. Let me back up just a little bit. So, first of all, a C scale is special when there's no sharps or flats in the key signature. C is do all the time, every time. If you have any flats in your key signature, like so, the last flat is always fa. So if I go down to do from fa, then I would know that the first space is do, or F. That's flat keys. If you're in a sharp key, the last sharp is always T. So I'm going to find my last sharp. My last sharp is on C. And I know that because F-A-C-E spells face. So the last sharp is a C sharp. I know that that note would be T. So if I know this note is T, I have to go up 1 to get to Do. So I know that D is Do. And then I can start reading my music. So that is going to be lesson 1, and then we'll do some practice, and then we will come back with some more information for lesson 2.